Hey, everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving into the epic story of a guy who changed movies forever. Sir Charles Spencer Chaplin, better known as Charlie Chaplin. From the gritty streets of London to the bright lights of Hollywood, this dude became a global superstar with his iconic Little Tramp character. That bowler hat, cane, and mustache, total legend status. So, buckle up for a 30-minute ride through the life of a guy who made the world laugh, cry, and dream big. Let's get started with the one and only Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin was born on April 16, 1889 in London, England. Full name, Charles Spencer Chaplin. His parents were music hall performers. His dad, Charles Chaplin Sr., and his mom, Hannah Chaplin, who went by Hannah Hill on stage. But Charlie's childhood? Far from a Hollywood fairy tale. His dad was an alcoholic and bailed on the family when Charlie was just 3. His mom, a talented singer, struggled with mental health issues, which made life even tougher. When Charlie and his older brother Sidney were kids, money was so tight they ended up in workhouses, those grim places where poor folks worked for scraps of food. Picture a little kid facing the harsh realities of life way too soon. But Charlie had something special. Like he once said, "Life is a tragedy when seen in close-up, but a comedy in long shot." That quote? It's basically his life story. At just 5 years old, Charlie stepped onto a stage for the first time. His mom's voice gave out during a performance, and the crowd started jeering. Little Charlie, waiting backstage, jumped in and started singing for her. The audience loved it. They were tossing coins on stage. That was Charlie's first taste of the spotlight, and man, he was hooked. By age 8, he was dancing with the 8 Lancashire Lads, a clog dancing troupe that performed in England's music halls. It was grueling, endless rehearsals, tiny stages, and sometimes hecklers. But for Charlie, it was like a masterclass in comedy, timing, and winning over a crowd. At 19, Charlie was performing with Fred Karno's famous vaudeville troupe. This group was a big deal, and it took him across the pond to America in 1910. His performances were a hit, and one day his luck changed when Max Sennett, the head of Keystone Studios, spotted him. In 1913, Charlie signed with Keystone, and that was the moment his life was about to take off. In 1914, Charlie gave the world his most iconic creation, the Little Tramp. This quirky little guy with a bowler hat, tiny mustache, baggy pants, and a cane was unlike anything anyone had seen. Charlie wanted the Tramp to be a poor guy with the heart of a gentleman. In kid auto races at Venice, the Tramp made his debut, and audiences went wild. The Tramp didn't just make people laugh, he touched their hearts, representing every underdog fighting to make it. After Keystone, Charlie moved to S&A Studios in 1915, then Mutual Film Corporation in 1916, where he got more creative freedom. Films like The Tramp, The Immigrant, and Easy Street turned him into an international star. Charlie's style was unique. He mixed slapstick comedy with raw emotion. One minute you're cracking up, the next you're wiping away a tear. By 1918, Charlie was such a big deal he signed a $1 million contract with First National Pictures, an insane amount for the time. But for Charlie, it wasn't just about the money. He wanted full control over his films. So, in 1919, he teamed up with Mary Pickford, Douglas Fairbanks, and D.W. Griffith to start United Artists, a studio where artists could make movies without studio bosses breathing down their necks. With United Artists, Charlie Chaplin kicked off the most epic chapter of his career. His first big hit was The Kid in 1921, where the Tramp adopts a little orphan boy. This movie was so emotional, people were crying in theaters. Charlie starred alongside Jackie Coogan, a pint-sized superstar at the time. The kid proved Charlie wasn't just a funny guy. He could tell stories that hit you right in the feels. Then came the gold rush in 1925. The Tramp's chasing dreams in the Alaskan gold rush. And there's this hilarious scene where he eats his own boot out of starvation, but somehow makes it comedy gold. Charlie himself said he wanted to be remembered for the gold rush. And honestly, it's still a masterpiece. City Lights in 1931 might just be Charlie's most beautiful film. The tramp falls for a blind girl and does everything to help her. This was a silent film, even though talkies, movies with sound, were taking over. Charlie stuck with silent films because he believed they had a special magic. And he was right. The ending of City Lights still brings tears to eyes today. In 1936, modern times took a swing at industrialization and unemployment. Charlie plays a factory worker tangled up in giant machines. It's mostly silent, but uses some sound effects. The movie's message? Technology's great, but the human heart comes first. You see that loud and clear in every frame. And then there's The Great Dictator in 1940, Charlie's first full talkie. He took a bold shot at Hitler, playing a dictator named Adenoid Hinkle. The final speech, where Charlie pleads for peace and humanity, is straight up legendary. This film was a huge risk in the political climate of the time, but Charlie said, "I had to make this movie because it was the right thing to do."
Charlie's life wasn't all glitz and glamour. There was plenty of drama too. His personal life was always in the headlines. He got married 4 times, first to Mildred Harris in 1918, then Lita Gray in 1924, Paulette Goddard in 1936, and finally Una O'Neill in 1943, who he stayed with for the rest of his life. He and Una had 8 kids, and that marriage was the happiest part of his story. But his political views got him into bigger trouble. In the 1940s, America was paranoid about communism, and Charlie got wrongly labeled as a communist sympathizer. Films like Modern Times and The Great Dictator were called leftist, and the FBI started watching his every move. A paternity suit also hit him, which was later proven false, but it trashed his reputation. In 1952, when Charlie went to London for the premiere of his film Limelight, the US basically kicked him out. They canceled his visa, and he was exiled. Charlie settled in Switzerland with his family, and that was a dark chapter in his life. But he didn't give up. He kept making films, like A King in New York in 1957, which took a satirical jab at America's political paranoia. Charlie Chaplin's comeback was as epic as his career. In 1972, America invited him back and gave him an honorary Academy Award. When he walked on stage, the crowd gave him a 12-minute standing ovation, the longest in Hollywood history. You could see that classic Charlie smile, like he was saying, "I'm back, baby." In 1975, Queen Elizabeth II knighted him, making him Sir Charles Chaplin. But for Charlie, it was never about the awards. It was about his films and that little tramp character that defined him. On December 25, 1977, Charlie passed away in Switzerland, but his story lives on. His movies are still watched all over the world. The Little Tramp spoke for everyone who's ever struggled, but never gave up. His comedy, his music, his storytelling, it's all timeless. Fun fact, Charlie once entered a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest and came in 3rd. No kidding. So that's the story of Charlie Chaplin.
a guy who rose from poverty to make the world laugh, cry, and dream. His films remind us that laughter and love are life's greatest treasures. If you loved this story, hit that like button, share it, and subscribe for more. Drop a comment. What's your favorite Charlie Chaplin movie? And whose story do you want to hear next? Until then, keep smiling like the little tramp. Dedicated to the legend, Sir Charles Chaplin. What's the next untold story you want to hear? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more hidden histories on Only at UntoldLivesUSA. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.